I'm 25 years old. I've never worked a traditional 9 to 5 corporate job. Instead, I built a multi-six-figure freelance business in under 2 years. And every time I say that, whether it's on the internet or in real life, somebody out there, a pessimist, a boomer, rolls their eyes. She's exaggerating. She's lying. I've been freelancing for 20 years. It took me 10 years to get to that point. All the things. But just because it was unrealistic for you doesn't mean it has to be unrealistic for me or for anyone just starting out. I'm Danae. I help women go get paid by deprogramming you from the noise so you can go out there and live a life that actually feels like yours. And I am deeply passionate about young people, especially young women, going out there taking, quote, risk and doing things different from the traditional script that we have been presented. And the thing is, I know there'll be people thinking or in the comments like, oh, what about doctors? What about lawyers? What about all these other careers that we need in the world? Of course we need those. Those people are out there in medical school, studying, in their law office, working hard. They're not watching this video. This is for people who were never going to do that anyways. This is for people whose jobs are probably going to be obsolete in the next 10 to 15 years because of the way the world is moving. There is a significant shift happening, and it's important to be curious and to see what's going on so you can make changes accordingly, because the only person that's going to fight for you and create the life you want is you. Simple as that. I always knew I wanted to live a life where I wasn't living for the weekends. I had some sort of control. I could work from where I wanted, when I wanted, but I never really knew how to get there. And actually, it wasn't really a thought for me that I wouldn't be able to achieve that in the way that I imagined with a corporate job. Most people in my life probably saw my trajectory as a corporate 9 to 5 girly, which I did too. I didn't really think about leaving that path until I was applying for jobs, fresh grad out of uni, and couldn't get one. I wasn't one of those people that had that entrepreneur bone from they were young, selling things, doing things. In fact, I was the complete opposite of that, but it's why I'm so passionate about speaking about these things, because I never saw anybody like me or with the same mindset or kind of personality as me as an entrepreneur. So I didn't even really see it as an option. And while there's a slight difference between being a self-employed freelancer and entrepreneur, it's within the same vein, but it has literally never been easier to create value and get paid well for it without a middleman, aka working a corporate job, if this is something that you want to do. And anybody out there that thinks it's unrealistic to grind it out for 6 months, a year, 18 months and not achieve that is just somebody who is really going to struggle as the world continues to expand with technology and AI. We've all been trained that stability is permission-based. There's a script that we're given with outlines, and we go out there and we live our life outlining the script. But the script is designed for you to live a, quote, neutral life. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I'm not one of those people that thinks everybody should go and venture out into this. But if you feel like you want to create your own script, you can. It just feels weird and it feels different because most people follow the script. You can actually erase the dotted lines and start painting your own brushstrokes and designing a life that feels unique to you. And to be honest, the people that start to paint their own brushstrokes and continue to do that for their entire life actually leave behind paintings that people talk about even after they're gone. Now, I'm taking this analogy very far. I'm not saying that everybody who's a freelancer or who goes out and doesn't do the traditional path is going to be great, but I'm saying it usually leads to that. And it's completely okay to do that. People project their fears or what their desires are onto you, but you don't need to accept that. It is 2025. I'm actually of the belief that the current script that we have been following for years is being slightly iterated on. And in 10 to 15 years, they're just going to give us a new script and say, hey guys, this is what you need to do now. And it's going to shake a lot of people up who are so reliant on this other script. In plain words, I believe that the future of work is changing, especially with AI and all the technological advances. Companies do not need as many employees. It's much more profitable for them to have less employees and have much leaner business, even in the massive corporate companies that we know. What does this mean? It means that a lot of work will be outsourced to AI, but also to specialized talents. Whether it's freelancing in the way that I do it now, where it's highly specialized and focused on a very specific task, or it's project to project based, things are going to change. To me, it is clear as day. Whether you freelance, you create a product, you create a software, whatever you want to do it with conviction and energy, because now is the time. I spent a lot of time holding myself back from moving with conviction just because I couldn't bear the weight of other people's fear that they were projecting onto me. Specifically for freelancing, if you can learn one thing that someone with money values, you can get paid for it. It is as simple as that. There's a business, service, or a person that desperately needs a thing, you can sell that to them and make money and live a good life. It is not some weird rocket science MLM scam thing. It is just the exchange of value, and you do not need someone else in between to make that happen. If you want some extra help with designing an offer, or you're struggling with conceptualizing how freelancing works and how you'll even get paid, I have a link in the description with a bingeable 60-minute course that will unpack every question you have and get you on the track with a little worksheet to build out your own offer, and then go out there and do it. No strings attached. And if you can do that repeatedly, get better, build a personal brand, build a network of people that know and trust you, you will never, ever have to go then find a middleman to get you paid. On top of that, we live in a world where you can post a video and get a client across the world. You can get a client in Argentina, in Switzerland, in Australia. You can send them an email. Hey, I want to do this thing for you. This is how much I charge for it. If they desperately need it, happy to work with you. Boom. You're able to pay your bills. You're able to pay your rent. It is as simple as that. Caveat is you just have to become undeniable and get good at whatever service it is. There's a range of things you can do, but what makes it beautiful, going back to the canvas example, is you are uniquely designed to provide value in a way that other people's aren't, because we're all unique. We all have different fingerprints. We all have different experiences that bring different things to the table. I've shared in my previous videos that I started in this industry doing copywriting. I loved writing. I loved self-improvement. I love wellness. I've moved across the world. So my perception of the way that I might market a brand is very different from how someone else who's had a very different life from me perception. I've realized that makes me uniquely fit for a certain type of business, or for someone who has a certain type of value or vibe that they want from the person that's going to help them market their product or service. And each and every one of you have that unique thread that if you just put in the inputs, you can start to actualize and then find your tribe, find the people, the clients. That's businesses would thrive if you put in the effort to build your own career. Everybody's talking about the economy this, the economy that. The economy favors people who move fast, who are not afraid to look at what is happening and pivot and be curious and go out into the world and create things. Instead of complaining and looking at what is as something you have no control over, look at it and think about how you can make a choice to make your life good despite what's happening. If you do not move fast in this world, you will get left behind and barely be able to fill out the script that they made for you, because things are going so fast and are unsustainable for us. I make these videos and I talk about the things I talk about because I want you to see what is possible when you stop listening to the pessimists, to the doom gloomers who are going to just continue doing that till the day they die. If you have that energy in you, that grit, that thing that you know that you can achieve something, don't let that stop you. There is not one path for success. In fact, you carving out your own path is the best thing you can do. They'll make you a happier, more inviting person because you're on a pursuit. Humans need to pursue things. They need to feel like they have a purpose. And it's very difficult to achieve that if your purpose is dotting the lines that were drawn out for you that can get changed and pivot at any point as well. Struggling or following the path does not make you more noble. It does not make you a more virtuous person. In fact, as I mentioned before, the faster you can learn, pivot, and act, that's what's going to benefit you the most in this day and age. You don't need to hold on to this identity that things have to be hard, that you have to do things a certain way. It doesn't matter who in your life is telling you that, because the truth is the truth. Every decision I've made to build my freelance business, to post content on YouTube, to do everything that I've done, I made the intentional choice to do that because I do not want to waste what I am seeing as an insane time of opportunity. It has never been a better time to be alive and to build something, to create a body of work in whatever capacity it is that inspires people, that entertains people, that educates people. It has never been easier. Why would you want to waste that? If you feel like you are destined to do something, of course it's going to to feel scary. It's going to feel weird when you first start, but just start putting inputs out there. You like to write, post something on Substack. It doesn't matter if you have any followers. It doesn't matter if you're perfect. If you want to offer services to clients, but you don't have a marketing background or you don't have skills, take a free course, watch a YouTube video, send an email to a client who you know is not going to respond to you just to prove to yourself that you are willing to do it. That alone will give you momentum. And who knows what can happen out of that. The periods in my life that I had the most momentum were when I took an action that I felt uncomfortable about, and then I got a result that shocked me. And then I'm like, wait, let's do it again. And then you build that momentum so much so that you become this person that's just doing and doesn't even need to see any results from it because you know what could come out of that. But you have to take the small acts. You'll never take it if you stay there in fear with that. So hopefully we covered that now. You got to remove that fear. You got to let any projections that people throw onto you. But then you have to make the decision to act and do that over and over and over. Do you know how many clients I reached out to before I got my first big retainer client? Do you know how many ad scripts I made until I got a winner for my client? Do you know how many YouTube videos I posted until I cracked 2,000 views? How many YouTube videos I posted until I got a video that went massively viral and now people are here watching me? It's inputs over and over again. I have so many videos archived even on this channel that literally got 50, 60 views. But did that stop me? No, because you can't expect things to be easy. You need to move with the conviction that you know, I am going to do this until it works, period. That is the only mindset you need to have. If you have that mindset, you move with faith and you do not let go. Instead, you make changes, you iterate, you see what's working, you see what's not working, you act on that accordingly. There's no world where you will not accomplish what you want to accomplish. We've just made it too easy for people to get energy and to get dopamine and scroll and do things or feel like they're being productive or feel like they're achieving something. That's why it's easy to sit at a job you hate that's paying you good money. It covers your expenses, it covers this fun life, and it would be so much extra work to get out of that and achieve the life you want. But it seems like a fair trade to me to make a sacrifice for a bit of time, put in those efforts to then get results that compound, especially if you want to do something as simple as freelancing, where you need to pick a skill, design an offer that people will desperately need and that will pay you well around what you are intuitively good at and probably a high income skill, and then learn how to sell it or put yourself out there, build a personal brand, build proof, and then just don't stop, especially if that's what you want to do. Start today. Literally start today. There is no excuse why you shouldn't be able to do this. So no, I've never worked a 9 to 5. I'm doing just fine. And anyone else out there who wants to do something different, who feels like there's something else out there for them, don't let people's projections or fears of going off the traditional path stop you from doing so. It is literally the best and easiest time to go out there and get paid.